still just trying to figure out what to do. It's kind of been like a whirlwind.
A whirlwind caused by a pipeline exploding. It destroyed Denver and Jody Coulter's home. You can see their cars melted.
You have your moments when you think about what you've lost, but really thankful to be alive.
Being alive is something the Coulters didn't believe was possible. That night they describe as hell on earth.
And I looked and I was, wow, I just couldn't believe we were still alive, running from it. Kind of looked like a monster just ready to swallow us up. I thought it was over. I didn't think we was gonna make it. I knew this is our last night on earth.
They tell me the coroner doesn't understand how they made it out either.
He said in the brown area there was no oxygen to breathe. He said, so logically it's impossible that you're alive. So I can't explain it other than the hand of God let us out, and then he just kept pushing us.
They say before running with their dog Jordan, they thought they were trapped. So they were thinking about how to end their lives quicker.
In Denver, he didn't want to watch me burn. He didn't want to watch Jordan burn. He didn't want to watch himself burn. So he was going to shoot us. He was going to shoot me and Jordan, and then shoot himself. Because we didn't.
When you're in a situation like that, crazy things run through your head. You know, you don't, like she said, you don't want to burn to death.
Jody says a month before the explosion, she suspected something would happen because she'd felt the ground shake a couple times.
I don't feel safe. Something's going to happen. I said, we'll find something else. I want to leave here. And we were going to, but we ran out of time.
They say the help they're receiving now from family and the community keeps them going.
It's amazing, the love that we felt.
It's like we lost everything, but we've gained everything.
Yeah.
In Lincoln County.
Just thankful to be alive.
Grateful.
Christy Bollinger, ABC 36 News. What kind of governor do you want to be?
I want to be a caring, thoughtful, productive governor for all Kentuckians. Whether people voted for me or not, I want to do a good job by them.
Next week, Governor-elect Andy Beshear will be sworn in as the state's highest-ranking officer. I asked him what comes next after that day.
In the first 7 days that I'm governor, we're going to reorganize the Board of Education to ensure that its members support public education. We're going to restore the voting rights to all nonviolent felons that have served out their term. It's over 140,000 people. We're going to rescind the Medicaid waiver, which would remove health care from 95,000 Kentuckians. And we're going to save about $200 million while we're doing it.
Beshear says he also wants to change the tone in Frankfort. As he puts it, restore civility.
We have an opportunity to truly lead, to show people that we can be a model of civility, that when we agree, let's enjoy it and let's move forward. When we disagree, no more name calling. We don't need to make each other miserable.
He's an advocate for public education long before he ran for governor and before making promises to teachers during the campaign.
$2,000 across-the-board raise is going to be in my first budget. That's to address a teacher shortage that is hurting our students, but that's also because I believe that no teacher should be living in poverty or relative poverty by doing work we desperately need them to do.
And he's promised to protect teachers' pensions. But how is he going to do all this? And who's going to pay for it?
There's never going to be enough money for everything we need to do. So let's lead with our values. Mine start with public education. We're going to do what needs to be done to move our education system forward, to give opportunity for all our kids, to make sure we're not failing one of them.
Despite Beshear's vocal support of public education, he's been criticized for sending his own children to private school.
My kids got an opportunity that all kids should. That's to go to preschool. So my kids in preschool went to a school that my family fell in love with. And so they're going to finish out elementary there. My son's going to be going to a public middle school next year.
Beshear knows he has many challenges ahead, including how he's going to work with the Republican-controlled legislator and Attorney General's office to avoid political gridlock. And he's optimistic that can happen.
We started our initial conversations, and I think we've all agreed to wipe the slate clean. Let's start fresh, all of us, with each other, with how we interact. Let's try to do this right. I think everybody sees our opportunity here.
He says these meetings have been good, positive.
We know some areas that we'll disagree on. We don't talk about them right now. Let's establish the areas that we know we can move forward in.
And that journey begins next Tuesday at the state capitol.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get to work.
Christy Bollinger, ABC 36 News. A story of drug addiction starting at age 16 when Heath Randall was hurt in a high school basketball game.
I was prescribed Percocet, and I was addicted to them before I even knew what being an addict was.
So he went from an athlete in school to an addict in prison.
I caught a trafficking charge here in Somerset, and it just started spiraling even worse from then. And I just remember not knowing what to do or how to live, and I remember feeling alone.
Things continued to get worse from there.
Once I started using a needle, it took my soul away from me. It wasn't Heath. It just turned me into somebody different.
Someone who was an addict, living underneath the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Bridge.
And this is actually the first time that I've been back here since the night that I decided to get clean. I probably slept like right behind the tree.
There's a reason he chose here.
I could see straight across from my parents' house. The leaves were gone then, and I could see my son every morning whenever my dad would take him to school, just so I could get a glimpse of him, because I wasn't allowed on their property.
Heath overdosed numerous times. His then 8-year-old son witnessed his last one.
He walked in one time when I was flopped out in between the trash cans in the driveway when the ambulance pulled up and was Narcaning me, and that time I was actually dead. I'd been dead for about 3 minutes.
About a month later, Heath decided he wanted to take his life.
And I wasn't ever a suicidal person, but I didn't know any other way. I didn't know any other way out of it. I was going to let the train run over me, and it was the farthest track. I was desperate. I didn't know what else to do, so I dropped to my knees and I prayed to God, you got to either heal me or kill me, because I can't do it no more.
But before walking onto the tracks, something told him to head home, and so he did. While arguing with his mom on the front steps, his son came out.
And he said, "Daddy, you don't need the drugs. You love the drugs more than you love me. You don't have to have them." And he put his head into my chest, and I made a promise to him, and I told him that I would never use again, and I've been clean ever since that night, and I celebrated 3 years on August the 9th.
Now, at 34, Heath dedicates his life to helping others recover as a peer support specialist.
And just to do a little good in somebody's life, even if it's just one person, that everything that I've ever went through is worth it, because I've helped somebody gain back a little bit of their life that they had before, and a little bit of peace of mind, and that's priceless.
In his relationship with his son now, he wouldn't change for the world. In Somerset,
I'm just glad that I got through it.
Christy Bollinger, ABC 36 News. More than 500 tons of chemical weapons have been stored at the Bluegrass Army Depot since World War II. Among them, sarin, VX, and mustard gas, which are some of the deadliest weapons in the world, all safely stored in a restricted area of 48 igloos. These chemicals are inside of rockets and projectiles, like these test-only weapons that have been used for training.
We train daily, nightly, and it's very beneficial in what we do.
This is how the chemical weapons will be moved from the igloos to the plant, a delicate and dangerous process. Mustard gas will be the first neutralized beginning in June in this static detonation chamber. The plant's site project manager Jeff Brubaker says, simply put, the mustard gas will be burned. The rockets and projectiles containing the nerve agent will be destroyed in this building right behind me. Destruction will begin this fall and will take roughly 3 years to be complete. The nerve agents, VX and sarin, will be neutralized with what's called supercritical water oxidation, which essentially means it'll be chemically decomposed. Before working on maintenance projects, employees like Wendy Shepard have to be fully suited in this. And it's not light. It adds about 70 pounds. But she says it's exciting to be a part of history. The plant, completed in 2015, has more than 1,200 employees, all who have been preparing around the clock for this project.
All that hard work has finally come to a point where we're finally getting to do our mission, the end of our mission, which is destroying these chemical weapons, taking them off the face of the earth.
Craig Williams from the Governor's Commission for Chemical Weapons Disposal says everyone involved in this operation is more than ready to see it move forward.
I'm pretty excited after being involved with the program for approximately 35 years. I'm pretty excited about how close we are now.
All the weapons are scheduled to be destroyed by 2023, which means
we will declare that the United States no longer has chemical weapons, these weapons of mass destruction, in our possession, which will be a great day for our country.
In Madison County, Christy Bollinger, ABC 36 News.